Okay, so reality is I didn't even plan on doing a video today. And I didn't plan on doing a video today because there was really nothing I wanted to do a video about. However, now there is because a huge story just broke out and I'm wanting to get this out now because it's going to be fucking popular to talk about, I guess. The Hardy Boys may be leaving TNA Wrestling. Now, what does this mean? This means multiple things. And for all you people, I mean the TNA fanboys out there, for you people that think TNA still has a chance after this, you're delusional. You are really, really delusional. What you don't get is that the Hardys were the last big name TNA had. They were the last drawing point on the show. There's nobody else in the company that drew like the Hardy Boys did. Not to mention Matt Hardy with the Broken Brilliance gimmick. He brought more viewers to the show and he brought more interest into the TNA product. To take that away, what do you have left in TNA? You have a skeleton roster. You have Lashley, I guess is good. Allie, but really nobody knows who Allie is. Nobody's going to watch for Davey Richards. Nobody's going to watch for Eddie Edwards. Moose, nobody's going to watch for. What you don't get is there's no big names left. And that's what this is a wrestling thing. This is a whole general issue in the world of wrestling. You people don't know the difference between a big name and a good wrestler. Because you people want good wrestlers to get pushed. However, when your good wrestlers get pushed, you realize they're not big names. And because they're not big names, they don't draw numbers. Nakamura, Bobby Roode, Eric Young, AJ Styles, all the other queers that WWE signed. Those guys are not big names. It's just sad to say, but it's the truth. That's why they main evented TNA when 1 million people were watching in front of a fucking soundstage studio. Big names are guys who have been around for ages. Stone Cold, The Rock, Mick Foley, Shane McMahon, John Cena, Randy Orton, Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, Goldberg. People that you know just by me mentioning their name. If I went up to someone right now and I asked them who John Cena was, 90% of people would be able to answer just because of how homegrown John Cena is. Just because of how big of a person he is. What would happen if I asked who Nakamura is? They'd have no idea who I'm fucking referring to. Because he's only known to the hardcore wrestling fans out there that think wrestling is real. The Hardy Boys, people know who Jeff Hardy is. People may slightly not know who Matt Hardy is, but the thing about Matt Hardy is the gimmick he has is investing people into the Hardy Boys product right now. He is what's making them creative, and he is what's making them keep afloat right now. Because without him, there would be no character behind our Hardy Boys, and they would just be two Hardy Boys. Jeff Hardy is the biggest name that TNA had. The biggest name. And that's saying so much. He is their John Cena. I'm sorry if you don't agree. I'm sorry if you think someone else is their John Cena. Reality is, Jeff Hardy was TNA's John Cena. The people that go to see TNA at the Impact Zone, more than 300 of them are Jeff Hardy fans. More than. And that's at a 700 plus crowd. More than 300 of them are Jeff Hardy fans. What happens if you take Jeff Hardy away from the product? People are going to realize, wow, they took away my favorite fucking wrestler. They couldn't even re-sign him. Why should I support this company that doesn't have my favorite wrestler on it? Because guess what? There's nobody else on the Impact roster to be a fan of that big. What? Are you going to be a big fan for Trevor Lee? Andrew Everett? There's no reason to be invested in anybody else like you were invested in Jeff Hardy. And then all of you people, you think, oh, well, TNA's lost guys before, and their viewership number was fine. Okay, look at the guys they've lost. They lost Rude. They lost Eric Young. Christopher Daniels, Kazarian. Do you know what the thing is between all these guys? They were TNA guys. When you watch TNA, you expect to see those guys there. That's why you watch TNA. That's why the Million People Weekly only saw those guys in TNA. Because they were in TNA. Jeff and Matt Hardy have been exposed to millions and millions of people through the major exposure of wrestling they have been to. WWE, Ring of Honor, they went to What Culture Pro Wrestling for some bullshit reason. All the other indie promotions they do, especially WWE. They have I swear to you, they are probably known by at least 10 million people. Who in the TNA roster right now can you say is known by at least 10 million people? Nobody. Because nobody's known by that many people. The Hardy Boys are, because guess what? They've been in WWE. Their history will live on forever in that company, and they will always be remembered for what they did. Their exposure never goes away. People will always know who they are, even if they only step foot once into the company. The sad thing is the WWE, as bad as a company it is the dominant force of wrestling. There's no company bigger than it. It is the largest sports entertainment company right now in the industry, and it is the company that makes you official. That is the company that makes you a big name. TNA is not going to make you a big name. That's why when Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, Bobby Roode, and Eric Young come over to WWE, nobody else new is tuning in. Not a single new person is tuning in, because guess what? Everybody who watches TNA watches WWE. That's why TNA hires WWE guys. Because they know that nobody they try to build up as a TNA guy is going to get recognized. Because the only people they're trying to build up as TNA guys are the only people who are being exposed to TNA. They got to sign the big names from WWE to try to get people to invest in their product. If you have two people watching one rat in a cage, that rat in a cage just doesn't get more viewers by staying in his cage. No. You put another rat in a cage from a different cage, and then more people will come over and watch those rats in a cage. It takes more to get more. You know what I mean? You can't just build someone up in your company like Eli Drake. Like, Eli Drake is good. I can admit. He's a good worker. He's good on the mic. He's a good heel. He's able to get the crowd to hate him. But guess what? That doesn't matter. Because only 300,000 people are watching TNA. And the only 300,000 people watching TNA are the only ones who know who Eli Drake is. Nobody else is going to know who Eli Drake is. So when you say you got to watch TNA for Eli Drake, nobody's going to watch. Because nobody knows who Eli Drake is. Only you do because you watch TNA. Now, if I say, oh, Sting's coming back, you got to watch TNA to see Sting. People are going to watch because Sting is coming back to the company. Sting is a name that people know. If I said, oh, Hulk Hogan's coming back, imagine how loaded TNA would be. With the Hardy Boys gone, there's not that name anymore. Their biggest name is Lashley, and he's a failure, basically. And not a failure as in he's bad, but he's a failure in the wrestling's world term because you fucking smarks out there hate him for being a big guy for whatever fucking reason. It's just, it really is mind-blowing to me to see how how far TNA has fallen as a company. It should never have fallen this low. And the fact that they've just lost the Hardys, really, I don't think there's any saving the company at this point. There's literally nothing they can do. Oh, and don't even get me started. Oh, they also lost Drew Galloway. Okay, Drew Galloway wasn't doing shit. Drew Galloway goes back to my point. It takes more to know more. Because they changed his name, guess what? Nobody knows who the fuck Drew Galloway is. I'm sorry. If they would have brought him in as Drew McIntyre, maybe you got a few people from the E. But guess what? The sad reality is there was really nobody who gave a fuck about Drew McIntyre. And if you did, I'm sorry. Because nobody... Compare Drew McIntyre to John Cena. Who do you think people were watching more? Exactly. It's really sad to me how TNA had this new business, they had this new ownership, and they were saying everything was going to be fixed, and then they lost the biggest drawing point of the company. It brings me to my point. They want to make Impact great again. Well, here's the problem. The problem is, you can't make Impact great again if nobody's watching. I don't care what you do. Oh, they got Jarrett back. Oh, they got Dutch back. Oh, they got Zeb Coulter there now. Oh, Bruce Pritchard's gone. Oh, Dixie's gone. Oh, they're back in Soundstage 21. Guess what? The backstage never mattered. That's just the truth. The backstage portion of the show never mattered. Never. Never once did it matter. Because guess what? The only way TNA is ever going to thrive is if people actually start paying attention to the product. And nobody right now is paying attention to the product. That's just the sad reality. The reality is that TNA lost all the exposure it had once it moved from Spike TV. Once they lost Hulk Hogan, once they lost Ric Flair, Sting, and everybody else that was an old guy that was giving them big star power names, and they moved off Spike to Destination America, it was done. It's over. There's no recovery from that point. Because guess what? Nobody cares I don't care what you do backstage. You could fucking bring in the greatest creative team in the world. It doesn't mean shit if nobody's watching. And guess what? Right now, there is no reason to watch. If the Hardy Boys are gone, the only reason to watch the show is Lashley. You think people are going to tune in to see one guy? No. Because then they're going to see everybody else. They're going to see, oh, who's Mike Bennett? Oh, who is Eddie Edwards? Who's Davey Richards? Who are all these other guys from the independent scene that I don't know? They don't draw. These guys don't draw. They don't move the needle. They don't draw numbers. They don't bring people to watch the show. The Hardy Boys did. And the Hardy Boys are gone now. So, if you think TNA can save themselves at this point, the truth is they can't. It's over. It's done. They're dead in the water. It's just like that. It's amazing to me how simple it can be, but the Hardy Boys are gone. TNA's dead officially, and there's nothing you can do to save them. Unless if you brought in the biggest names ever, like Hulk Hogan and Sting again. But do you really think they're going to come back to TNA? No. The only way to fix this possible... I'm dying. The only way to fix this would be to get the Hardy Boys to resign with the company. Because then everything would be back on track and you would have the same amount of people watching. But if the Hardy Boys leave, people are going to stop watching. People are going to stop attending Impact. People are going to stop buying merchandise. People are going to stop investing into the product. And it's done. It's over. It's done at this point. They were the top merchandise sellers. They were the reason people went to go to see the Impact shows. They're the reason people watched the show. Without them, there's nothing. It's a sad reality, isn't it? So the planned video this week was going to be... Well, there was two, I think. I think there's going to be the Fastlane predictions and, maybe another rant video against AJ Styles, because I know you people get annoyed when I do the rant video against AJ Styles. NoDQ.com posted the video from last week, apparently, according to one of my sources. And at first I was like, yeah, why would they fucking care about me? But then I realized the video has like over 400 views and like 20 million dislikes at this point. And I was like, oh, yeah, they posted it. Now, do I care? Not really, because you're giving my video exposure, so thanks, I guess. I got like 6 subscribers out of that, but thanks, I guess. I don't really have a problem with the website. I don't have a problem with Aaron Rift. I don't even know who that is, to be honest. I have no idea who that is. I don't have a problem with him. I don't have a problem with the website. I guess what I really have a problem with is these smarks on the website that really thought it was necessary to put my video out there to try to gain some exposure for themselves. Or I don't even know what they were trying to do. Why the fuck did you care? Why? And then the comments from last week too. I almost want to make a response video to them, but the most ridiculous one was from that guy who fucking told me to go kill myself because it would do the wrestling world a favor. So, I mean, what? I don't get it. What person in the wrestling world right now really fucking gives a shit about me? Who, if you in the wrestling world give a shit about my life, I don't know what to say about you. You're a one-of-a-kind case. It's just awkward to me. Yeah, that's the video for the week. There will be a rant video up this week. I don't know about what. And there will be a Fastlane predictions where Goldberg will win the title and hopefully save WrestleMania. I don't know what else to say, so I'm just going to throw the crown at the camera and end the video.